All right. I think we're going to crack the mics here. I think we're on episode number 7. We've been doing these a little bit less frequently where I always forget what episode number we're on, but welcome to the 7th episode of the Blue Ox Running podcast. I have a couple people in the room with me. My name is Adam. I have my wife, Alicia. Say hello, Alicia.
Hello, Alicia.
Well, I just meant say hello, Alicia, but you said hello, Alicia. So let's do that again. Say hello, Alicia.
Hello.
Okay. That was awkward. You can tell that we don't do these too often. We did skip a month in there because it's just been crazy around here. We have August is like our busiest month for the business. We also have kids with us in the summer, and life is just nuts. So we didn't get to one in August. We are excited to kind of report back with how the fall is shaping up for us. We have a guest with us that's been in the herd since the beginning, since that first group run that we did back in December of 2017. So we're excited to introduce who that's going to be. But first and foremost, before we even do our fancy introduction song, Alicia, tell me a little bit more in one word about how your life is recently. I should know this, by the way. I live with you and I'm your husband. But tell everyone else in one word how your life is right now. What's one word to describe your life?
Fall?
Fall? Okay, that's one word to describe like the season. But there's a lot that comes along with fall, right? What's one word that comes along with your running?
Let's do Hickson.
Let's do Hickson. That's 3 words, but let's do Hickson. Okay, we're gonna get to know a little bit more about that in a little bit. But first, you know the song. Here's the introduction. So what's your spring running goal?
Qualify for the Boston Marathon.
Claim the beer mile title.
Training for a triathlon.
20 minutes again in a 5K.
To run happy.
Balance, running, and family.
Finish Grandma's marathon.
To not die.
Fast.
Or slow.
Let's go! Fast or slow! Let's go! Fast or slow! Let's go!
All right, that's right. If you're just tuning in to the Blue Ox Running Podcast, fast or slow, let's go is our motto, not just for the podcast, but for the store and everything we do here at 417 South Barstow Street in Eau Claire, Wisconsin. Fast or slow, we want to help you out, whether you're a fast runner, a walker, a slow runner, a middle of the packer. Packers?
Yay, go Pack!
Yeah, go Packers. So quick segue. I guess I'm just all over the place. This is how my brain usually is. Sometimes I can rein it in with one thought at a time. But fast or slow, let's go. We support anybody on their journey of fitness, walking, running, all that good stuff. But now to the good stuff. The Packers beat the Bears last night, and I didn't even realize that till this morning. Why was that? Why didn't we find out last night, Alicia? We were watching the game.
Because you fell asleep.
I fell asleep. No, that's right. So we had the group run last night. We ended at Ramones. We had an ice cream night, got home, we had the game taped and everything, watched a handful of it, but I am still behind on some major sleep. Got to watch the good drive by Rodgers after a terrible first quarter. We got some points on the board, 10-3 forever, or 7-3 forever, and then we figured out who actually won this morning with the kids before they went to school. Speaking of school, it's fall. Why is your word fall for how our life is recently?
Well, kids back in school, just getting back into a weekly routine rhythm. It just is all very different. It takes some time to get into that. Are you okay over there?
That was not a fart, by the way. That was me moving the microphone, just so you know.
And with that, running can even change your schedule of when that can happen, or that's at least how we're feeling right now, of just getting back into that routine.
Yeah, I think the kids went to school like Tuesday. We were out of town until late Monday on Labor Day. Kids went to school for an orientation, like a different day Tuesday, but then Wednesday was like their first normal day. And the night before, like it was like Tuesday night, we sat down with a blank sheet of paper and was like, okay, like what's our fall schedule going to shape up to be? Because we're a lot of things change in the fall with the business, with employees, different availability, same availability. The kids are obviously going to school at different ages now. We have 2 at one school and 1 in 4K. So all of that changes, and I'm sure a lot of people out there can resonate with that. The fall schedule is really exciting for me because I can actually see when I'm going to get work done rather than summer just becomes so
Flying by the seat of your
discombobulated.
pants.
Yeah, summer's so discombobulated in a good way. There's a lot going on. It's good weather. It's good running weather. A lot of vacation time that we had this year that we didn't have last year. So coming up on 2 years on the business feels good. And we're getting into that fall season again, cross-country spikes and the whole bit. It is my favorite season for running. Is it yours, or do you like the dead of winter, Alicia?
I don't know. I like all the seasons.
Come on. There's people that say that, and they don't mean it. I like all the seasons the same. They're different. What's your favorite season to run in?
I can't answer.
Oh, my goodness. Are you serious? I thought you would be summer.
That's my favorite season. I don't know if that's my favorite season to run in.
Okay. Well, I'm going with fall. Everything is in second place. Everything else is tied for second. Fall, number one,
runs,
by far.
Even in the winter.
I'm sure you do. We're all proud of you for getting your winter running clothes on and going out. But there's something that's better than the other. Overall, would you rather run 10 days in a row in the winter or 10 days in a row in the spring, summer, or fall?
10 days in a row in the fall.
Okay, the fall. Yeah, Alicia agrees with me. That's usually how our discussions go. No, you can have your own opinion about the winter being equally awesome as everything else.
I didn't say it was equally awesome. I just like the changes of seasons and changing it up.
I do too, but there's still a reason we like them to change, because they change to something better, like the fall. Okay, enough about that. Why is your... so speaking of the fall... Actually, let's stay on that. Your word, or kind of what you're thinking about for running, is Hickson. Let's go Hickson, I think is what you said.
Yeah, so Hickson is coming up at the end of October.
Hickson, what is Hickson? I don't get it.
It's a trail run in La Crosse.
Yep.
You can do a 25K or a 50K.
That's on Sunday. The day before, you can do, I believe, a 10K.
Yes.
Or a 5K.
So we are both doing it, and my brother is doing it as well.
What are you doing?
I'm doing the 25K, and Adam's doing the 50K.
Yep, and your brother, I think, is doing the 25. We have some friends coming up. Actually, last time I ran Hickson, I ran the 50K, and I thought at the end, I was like, man, that was fun. But I think the 25K seems really fun, like to do one lap instead of two. I was really tired by the end, and I was like, yeah, I'll definitely do the 25K next time. But I'm doing the 50 again. I don't know what's wrong with me. I think I'm using it as a training run because my bigger goal is like 4, maybe 5 weeks later. I think it's 4 weeks later in November. So I'm using Hickson as a super fun, well-supported, well-put-on race to get out for basically a glorified long run.
We just saw some of the guys at our Trail Transformation, our last group run.
Yep, Jake
they were out here.
and Austin, and we had a dietitian with them as well. They have a whole service down there. Plug to Trail Transformation and a plug to their podcast. They have a podcast. I think it's called Trail Jam. It's awesome. Go back and listen to the first ones because they have an awesome theme song that I convinced them to hopefully bring back. It's a play on Space Jam, but they dub in the word Trail Jam, and it's the best thing on the internet. So check out those guys. Actually, Austin, he talked about it beforehand that at our trail clinic, he was going to go up to the Superior Hiking Trail and try to break the FKT, the fastest known time for running that thing with support, which was like 6 days. It's 310 miles. So he's trying to do it in 6 days something. He was trying to average like 100 kilometers or 62 miles a day, and he did it. Like, he just broke it like the other day. So check that out on Facebook. I think we shared it in our group on Facebook. And congratulations to Austin. That is crazy fast for how rugged that trail is. So we're getting into fall racing. I know our guest that's going to be on today. I want to ask him about his fall plans because I think he's doing his first marathon this year, like some of you might be out there. Alicia, have you done a marathon yet?
No.
So you're doing a 25K. You're kind of getting closer. In distance and time on feet to that. Do you feel like you're going to do that in the next year or 2 years, or do you want to? Some people don't even want to. What's your deal with where your head is lately for running?
Yeah, I'm going to slowly build up to doing my first marathon, I believe, next fall. So going to cross it off my bucket list.
Next fall.
Yeah, so
Cool.
ways out.
Do you have one picked out? I know we were talking about this the other day.
Not quite yet. There's a couple I'm thinking of. Whistle Stop, Twin Cities. There's a lot.
Yeah.
Chicago's in the fall.
Yeah.
So
Fall is still my favorite marathon season. I've done 6 in the fall and 2 in the spring. And the events themselves, like I've done Eau Claire Marathon in the spring, one of my favorite events by far. I still like that fall season because you can do a little bit more in the summer. As opposed to the winter for quality work. But also, I haven't done like a later spring one. So I'm thinking about doing Grandma's. If I do a marathon in the spring, I might do Eau Claire, I might do Grandma's. I don't know what I'm going to do, but I've always kind of done the earlier spring ones, which is, there's a challenge no matter which way you do it. So that being said, let's get into our Hear the Herd segment. We have Mike Blazel on this week, and that's all I'm going to say until you hear from the herd. All right, so we're going to hear from the herd. We definitely have a herd member in the store on the podcast with us right now because he's been with us since that very first group run in December of 2017. Speaking of Twin Cities, I believe that's the marathon he's training for now. Mike, give us a good idea of where you're at in your running and also, heck, your personal life with this fall. Is the fall changing anything big for you for running and or personal life?
Yeah, the fall is definitely different. Gearing up for Twin Cities in less than 5 weeks.
And that's your first?
That's my first
full marathon?
Yeah, I've run probably 5 or 6 halves,
Wow.
including the Eau Claire half and Stillwater half and the Milwaukee half as well. But yeah, looking forward to 5 weeks from now.
Wow.
How long have you been on your running journey?
In 2015, my wife Angie and I signed up to run the marathon relay in Eau Claire.
Okay.
And so
Got
that was
it.
a blast.
So that was like your first race.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm band nerd through and through for life, and then
Yeah.
no athletic ability, and starting.
Did you say
starting
band
fresh.
nerd? I
Band
thought-
nerd, yeah,
Okay.
definitely.
Oh, you were mentioning segue. What did you play in band? What did you want to play in band, and what did you end up playing?
Yeah, you know the really cool instruments like the saxophone. Those are expensive.
Yes.
But you know what they have a lot of in the Eau Claire School District? Old French horns. So I ended up playing the old French horn and played that all the way through college.
The old French
The old
horn.
French
That's going to
horn.
be Mike's new podcast.
Yeah.
Cool.
Hashtag French horn.
So band nerd, and then you started running 2015, and has the band nerd gone away?
Oh,
or
that's
is that
gone
just
away. Long
long
gone,
time
yeah.
ago? It's just band.
Now he's
Yeah.
full out marathon runner.
Yeah.
I'm just full dad cool right now.
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. So Mike's a dad in town. We got to know him literally the first time I met Mike was at our group run. But your build-up then, I think, was probably for a half marathon.
Yeah.
Did you do Eau Claire this past year?
I did Eau Claire half this past year. Yeah.
Okay.
So that was my third time in 2019 was doing the Eau Claire half.
Third
for the
time in a row?
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
so 17, 18, 19. So since 2015, you kind of been around that event.
Yeah.
Relay.
Yeah, I'm doing relay, which is a blast.
Cool.
I encourage people to sign up for that because that's fun. Too.
Yep. I love that they keep the relay. I believe they will never let that go because that is an entry point. Like, case in point, Mike, his entry point into kind of the racing scene, it doesn't have to be racing, but organized running an event was that relay. And then myself, like, I have a totally different background. I've been running forever since I've been young and in a little different goals and stuff for the marathon, but I was actually looking at doing the relay next year with some cross-country alumni. We had a text going the other day. So that relay, I think, pulls in everyone.
Right. I think it's because if you're new to running, to just sign up for a race on your own is a big step. And so to be able to say, you want to do this with me?
Right.
And
Being part of a team.
you're right,
Yeah.
is a big
I
deal.
hear in the store all the time. They're like, I never would ever do anything, but they said that there's what's the shortest leg? Like 4 or 5 mile leg. There's some legs that are shorter and longer than others. So they kind of get hooked into like, oh, you could just do the shortest leg. Like, you're fine. And then before you know it, they kind of want to do the longest leg or the one that goes through downtown and like finishes the race. And then they're like, I could do the half marathon. And then it just kind of keeps snowballing,
Yeah.
with having that same day and the same event. There's actually like 6 different distances that you could choose from with that
And the
same day.
excitement of the day and being there. We started volunteering at water stops
Yes.
many years ago at the Eau Claire Marathon, and then seeing the excitement and feeling that energy
Yep.
on race day.
So speaking of excitement and energy, I've run Twin Cities Marathon before. It is one of the best spectating courses that I've run through the city by far. I mean, I've run a couple marathons like in bigger cities where the Twin Cities is a big, metropolitan area. It's a big city marathon, but it didn't feel that way. It didn't feel like I'm running through the downtown of like Chicago or Philadelphia or Washington, D.C. It felt like you're downtown at first. It kind of has that big city vibe. And then you're like running around all these lakes, parks, and it feels more Midwestern by the end. And it's just a point to point. It's a great like spectating course. Have you been on the course before?
I haven't.
Yeah.
So that's something I'm a little nervous about coming in. But everybody says it's hilly at certain parts of
Yeah.
it. But so I'm making sure that I'm getting my hill training in.
Yeah.
And,
That's good.
but yeah, the scenic aspect of it appeals to me, and
Yep.
also the course support with all the spectators. Yeah, I'm really looking forward to that.
Do you have a goal in mind, or is the goal just to finish?
Goal is to finish, but I would really like to be 4 hours or under.
Yeah, awesome.
And so far, training has been showing that's going to
Yeah.
happen.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. What have you run your last few halves in?
The Eau Claire Marathon in 19, this past spring, I set a PR at 1:47.
Oh, yeah.
Awesome.
Something. So
Yeah.
Yeah.
So over 10 minutes slower through the halfway point is definitely feeling great.
Yeah.
Is doable, I would say. I set my PR at Twin Cities.
Oh, really?
And I think it is a rolling, honest course.
Doesn't it end on a little uphill?
Yes.
I remember that's where.
I mean, usually I feel like your PR race is like you feel great the whole way, and it's kind of like that magical day. And I felt that way in the middle, and then like the last, I mean, not to discourage you or anything, the last like 4 miles, I felt like I was literally having like a panic attack.
but
like
you still pulled out a PR.
I was still passing people. It just hurts for everyone. That last 4 miles is just that graded upgrade. I still pulled out a PR. It was like a good race, but it just feels very hard by the end on that one.
Shane was a little tyke when you did that, and my whole extended family came to that race.
Yeah.
We lived out in.
We had just moved back to the Midwest.
Okay, but I was going to say it was great as far as for your family. Like
Yes.
we went all over to see him. I just remember it being super fun. Where some races it's like difficult to spectate.
Yeah.
You're like, oh, am I going to make it to the next step? We had a lot of fun at that one.
Yeah, that's a good one. So training's been going good.
Yeah.
Mike and I actually saw each other on a run this last weekend.
Yep, on Saturday.
It was like early morning run when you might not see someone else, and then I didn't realize that was the longest you'd run so far. You
Yeah,
texted
so
me
that was
after.
an 18-miler.
Great.
And you still have a 20-miler coming up?
Yeah, in 2 weeks. So,
So
Okay.
that was 5
this
weeks
Saturday.
out. Mm-hmm. Are you coming up on 4 weeks out on this weekend?
yeah, this
Okay.
weekend will be 4 weeks out, so you cut it down a little bit.
Yeah,
And
you're good.
Next week will be the 20-mile.
That's
one.
perfect. So
Yeah.
5 weeks out, 18, and finished feeling well.
Yeah, finished feeling great.
Fueling is
Yeah,
Good.
yep. Practicing all the nutrition on the run and making sure I have water and
What's your
does it
go-to
right.
nutrition?
Huma.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, the cafe mocha and raspberries.
Wow.
Okay,
And then also using Scratch.
Yep.
And then some salt tabs. And
awesome.
yeah, it's going well. Nothing's upsetting the stomach. And
Good.
Good.
So 4 weeks out now. Yeah, 3 weeks that longest run. You'll be good to go. Mm-hmm. I mean, it might even get a little chillier than it is right now.
Yeah, the weather's changing so much
I
on my
know.
morning runs. It's like, do I wear a long sleeve or do I wear a short
I know.
sleeve?
I know. It's kind of in between. I feel like summer went super fast. I mean, mentally and with how busy it can be,
And
it feels
the
that way. But the weather, like
just like dropped.
it just kind of blew out. I feel like once we got
I'm hoping
into,
we still get a couple hot days.
Yep. Yes.
Not for your race, but
Yeah,
but for
definitely
your,
not.
but for your running, for your favorite running season.
no.
Okay. All right. Perfect. So, Mike, how do we meet? When's the first time that you saw my face? That's an awkward question.
It was at that group run. We probably stopped into the store. We came on opening day too.
Yeah.
With hot dogs outside. And
Yeah.
Walked around the store.
Mike, we had
brats.
brats.
Brats. Yeah. We don't do hot dogs.
We don't
here.
do hot dogs here at Blue Ox Running. We had Wisconsin Johnsonville brats.
We might have had a.
We probably had hot dogs actually. we probably had more hot dogs than brats.
But yeah, so we stopped in at the store that day and checked it out, and
Cool.
we saw that you guys were doing a group run, which I had never done before. I'm a solo runner for the most part.
Yeah.
Like to just kind of zone out and
Yep.
go by myself. Thought, well, let's try something new. Push myself outside my comfort zone a little bit.
Yeah.
Came, I think it was in early December of 17.
Yeah, I remember that first year. We opened in October, like first week of October, October 7th. And then we always knew we wanted to do like the group run thing, but we just figured we didn't know how busy we'd be. We didn't obviously have the capacity to open it up like right away. Like, hey, here's the brand new store. We're open and we're doing a group run in 3 days. Like, we just didn't want it to be rushed. And so I figured, yeah, when the spring hits, we'll be good. Like, you know, that's when a lot of people get back on the horse for actually structured running and plans and wanting to run more. And the more we kind of threw the idea out, the more interest we had to do stuff even earlier and earlier, and especially through the winter, actually. I think there are less people that run through the winter than the other seasons, but the people that do want to run in the winter want to run with other people and have that group run there because it gets darker earlier. It's harder to get out just with motivation. I feel that for myself.
Well,
unless I have someone on the calendar that I'm meeting, it's a lot easier to do that.
And sometimes weather is like too bad in the morning.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Where the trails aren't cleared off or whatever.
Yeah.
And so it's a good time to have it too later in the day.
So we decided to start that group run a lot earlier than we thought we would. And I think it was like maybe the first week, the first Thursday in December.
I think so, yeah.
So December of 2017, we started it off. And if you know our group run now, like we basically meet every Thursday, 6 p.m. We have a pretty normal and natural like flow to it. We do announcements in the beginning. We all leave at about 6:10 or 6:12 p.m. There's a long route and a short route that you can follow that all kind of start together. And then we come back and do like push-ups and abs, and it's pretty low-key. Like you can do some core work for 10 or 15 minutes afterwards, and we hang out. But then about once a month, we try to schedule something that's a little bit bigger and better, like a special event. We've had the trail running clinic. We've had foam rolling clinic. We've had a scavenger hunt. We've had a handful of other things. We've had like yoga for runners afterwards. So especially that first one, we wanted to do something a little bigger and better. We got a bunch of giveaways. We had hot soup and wanted to let everyone know that we're doing a group run. So there was it was 16 degrees. I remember these numbers because it was triple the people as it was the temperature. So 16 degrees and 48 people showed up.
Yeah,
we
the
thought
store
it
was packed out. It was awesome.
And it's like cold outside, so it's all muggy and like steamy in here. It was kind of a cool vibe. But so that was a success as far as getting people out to it. But did you know anybody going into it? Did you come with someone?
No, I came alone.
Yeah?
I said, if I'm going to do this, I'm just going to do it. Well, it'll be fun to meet people. It's a good way to be pushed into a social situation. Mm-hmm. And with that many people are running different paces.
Yes.
And so there's a pace for everyone. And there still is today. Last night, even going on the group run, there's a lot of different paces, and you get to meet a lot of people.
Good. So one of the things we always say is like, if you're you're here for a group run. If you're running like a little bit ahead of someone or a little bit behind someone, and you're just kind of going that same pace, like just kind of catch up to them or wait up or wait up for someone so you can run with people. Like that's kind of the whole point, to meet people. You don't have to like be, you don't have to hit it off with everyone at every single moment, but like we're here to be social, invite the new people in. It's kind of become our normal routine to like, not embarrass, hopefully, but like to kind of make a big deal about the new people that are here. We want to know your name, and so we try to learn like the new names right away before we go for a run for like 5 seconds.
And most weeks we have at least one or two
We've had
people.
one, so we've been doing this almost 2 years. We've had 1 week where I asked if there's anyone that's never been here, and there was no one.
And it was probably like on a really like hot weekend or
where our normal
a holiday
core people
day.
come.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. So normally we have people that are coming. Like last night for the ice cream run, we had 4 new people that we try to learn their names, and then we head out the door and do that. So we didn't do that the first time because everyone would have been new.
Yeah, which is a good situation to be in.
Yeah.
If you want to be forced into a social situation.
Yeah, exactly.
Great.
Exactly. We're just going to throw you to the wolves and make it very awkward. No. So I think we went what did we do? Boyd Park and then the hybrid?
Yeah, we did. Went to Boyd Park, did a loop, and then to add on for the long route, we went up and ran the high bridge and turned around and came back.
Yeah, and at that point, the high bridge, like on the other side of the bank there, the trail wasn't done yet, and it's winter and dark. So normally in the winter and the dark months, I'll try to do more out and back so people see each other more, even if they're not at the same pace, for safety, but also so people kind of know who's out there still. So I remember going up to the high bridge and adding on with the handful. I was in a group of like 5 or 6. And then when we turned around, we saw you a little bit behind. So I just waited up for you.
Yeah.
And
I think
then
we met on the east end of the high bridge, maybe.
Yep. And then we kind of ran back towards the store. And of course, my day, I'm all nervous about the group run going off well. And there's a billion things to do. And my head is kind of like still in like business owner mode. With my checklists and getting back on time for the chili to be opened up and the paper towels. And there's it's overwhelming to kind of sometimes put on something for the first time. You're wondering if it's going well. But that connection where Mike and I just ran together for a little bit kind of broke me from that. And we had a really good interaction. Well, I thought it was good. I mean, maybe Mike thought I was being a jerk, but, it was really good to like meet someone new, and I felt like I was just kind of part of the herd. I wasn't like the store owner. I wasn't like the leader of like the discussion or the announcements. I was just out for a run with someone. Describe how you kind of felt when we met up as well. Were you excited that you were running with someone, or were you like, okay, I'm alone, leave me alone?
No, it was good. I thought if I'm going to come here, I might as well run with people.
Yeah.
I can run on my own easy enough.
Yep.
But, no, it took me out of my element too.
Yep.
And I felt very relaxed, and
yeah,
it wasn't like, oh, Adam's here, I have to run like a 6-minute pace. Here we go. It was like, no, it just came alongside, and yeah, it was very easy.
Yeah. And one of the things I remember is that we would maybe never have like naturally gone for a run together if it wouldn't have been for like more of an organized group run. So that's one of the things that I really like about our group run. It might bring people together that never would have we never would have called each other. We didn't know who each other were.
Right.
But also the one thing that struck me with what we started talking about was, we can talk about our running. Like we have this whole podcast about our goals and our training and our 18-mile run and if it's going well and what race we're doing. And that's kind of the surface level reason that we're running right now. But then there's maybe some other reason below the surface that running is helpful in our life, or why I might be still running with a group or by myself. And it was stress relief for myself at that time of starting a business and being overly stressed. And it was kind of the same story with you. Do you remember that or no?
Yeah. 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 Not able to forget that.
Good.
Yeah.
Good. So what were some of the things that you were expressing as far as why running and just activity and being out of your house and being out of your normal routine, why was that healthy at that time?
Well, at that point in time, I've known Angie, my wife. We've known each other for about 18 years and been married for 13 now as of this year. And so we had a daughter, Delaney. She's just turned 9 this past week.
So really similar to us.
Yeah.
Our oldest is 9. We've been married 13 years.
Mm-hmm. And then there's a whole backstory. So I think the theme of all this is there's so much more to a person than just what they're doing at that time.
Yes.
So we had struggled getting pregnant. We knew we wanted to expand our family, and struggled getting pregnant with infertility, and looked into adoption too for a couple of years. And then in fall of 2016, in October of 2016, our daughter Gracelyn was born. Mm-hmm. So that was a year before Blue Ox opened. Mm-hmm. And then in February of 2017, on February 12th, 2017, she passed away at 3.5 months old.
Yeah.
In Eau Claire from RSV.
Yep.
So fast forward, what would that be? 9 months.
Yep.
To December, 10 months.
Still within that year.
Yeah, still within that year.
Yep.
Still within grieving and just a shock to us all.
Yep.
Coming to that group run that night, just being able to open up and share my story of what happened with Graceland and where that has led our family, what I'm feeling, being super honest. I think one of the things I remember most about that night is just being really honest and open about what was happening, transparent. But seeing how the running for me changed after Graceland died. It wasn't more of a weight loss. It wasn't just something to do to stay active.
Yep.
It was a way to process my grief and process my feelings, whether that's going for a long run and tuning out, just completely tuning out, or whether that's going for a run and yelling at God, saying, why would you allow something like this to happen? How are we supposed to get through this?
Yep.
Lots of questions.
So it gave you time and space to process it differently than kind of being in your own head.
Yep. Or sitting at home by myself.
Yep.
Which was, even coming to that group run that night, that was a big deal because I'm like, well, this is a part of who I am now.
Yep.
And it could be awkward to share this, but I want people to know about it too.
Yeah.
Totally. So you guys did actually talk about that, right? So
it came
on
up
that run, our first group run, because I remember Adam came back and told me that he had met you, which was really cool. So
I mean, and we're talking about we met up at the High Bridge, which is like the little add-on part for people that were going longer. So we're on our way back. It's not like we had this 5-mile extension where we really got into everything. It was like the High Bridge back, and we came down Phoenix Park Bridge. So it was like 2 miles, like kind of a quick and super, very natural and authentic encounter for Mike to share what was really weighing him down with his grief. And then I shared too. I mean, it's just a totally different subject, and it's a totally different level of emotion and context, but how running for me had been changing as well to just give me a better stress relief, and so we found in totally different contexts for sure, but a pretty similar thread of why, again, that second reason, that underlying reason why we might be out for a run, as opposed to like, oh, I'm going this far today because it's in my training plan because I'm doing this race. So that's what I felt was so refreshing. We say around here all the time, we're all the same but different. Like we might have different paces and goals and fast or slow, but it's really common thread with what Mike touched on with either dealing with grief. We've had a lot of people talk to us about dealing with depression and dealing with mental health, with exercise. Like those just go hand in hand sometimes for good healing anyway.
Mm-hmm, absolutely.
So that's what I walked away from. And we prayed a little bit together. Mike and I end up going to the same church now, but that wasn't happening then.
No, we just knew each other through the stores.
Well, and crazy thing, I don't know if it was the following week that we went to the church that the Blazels were attending, but Mike spoke that first week at our church about Graceland, which is not something you normally do. It was
absolutely
right.
not.
And
super
so
uncomfortable.
We came there for the first time. This is at the Bridge Church, and
that's right. It's like, it was for World Vision.
We're like,
too.
There's Mike.
It was actually for we're checking out new churches. We're brand new in town, and we go there, and then all of a sudden Mike's up there talking about what we had shared and what he had shared with me about his daughter passing. And then it was in an effort, and part of your story was Team World Vision raising funds for the Eau Claire Marathon. So like there was such an overlap there, but still we weren't really going to that church. We checked it out once. It was still kind of this organic passing. And then since then, it's been almost 2 years. We ended up at that church, and there's just been, Mike and I get together about once every other week, and we go over stuff over breakfast, and it's just been a really good, healthy contact and friendship for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and being the outside wife, like same thing.
The outside wife? I have an inside wife and an outside wife.
Yes.
Because she runs.
Now the outside wife we'll talk about.
Outside, I live in our shed.
Whoa, really? I didn't say that, by the way. You are my wife with an outside perspective.
Yes.
Okay, that's what we're going for.
That, like we were talking about, would you ever know this about this guy?
Right.
Was same thing, like
He's just a guy coming to a group run. You never know who's walking in the door.
Right. Or just, and to get to know people's stories differently out running. I mean, it's so cool to get to know different people. I run with a different girl that I met at a group run too. And I'm friends with her. Like I would never know her if not through the group run, you know?
Yeah, and there's a billion ways to meet people.
Yes,
so it's not about meeting people. I do think, I talked about this with someone, there's something about running that's different than like even going out to coffee with someone to like discuss things and talk about heavy things or light things, because you're not like face to face. You're like side by side.
Like, I don't have to make eye contact.
Honestly, I think exactly. Like you can kind of bail out. You can literally like run away from him, and it'd be kind of awkward. But it actually would be kind of like, well, we're already running. He just ran away. But there is something, I think, for guys especially. Maybe this is generalizing, but for people that want to encounter one another that are doing stuff rather than just like literally staring at one another. There's just some personalities and that are more comfortable kind of working on something else, but then the discussion naturally comes up. Like if you're bowling with someone or you're woodworking or you're kind of focused and there's an activity, and then that breeds a ground for, you know, just deeper discussion sometimes.
Well, I think
for running is
women
good for that
too. It's like normally I mean with women with my kids, or you know when you have little kids, and so when I'm out running, it's like I have all this uninterrupted time with someone. And so for me, I feel like I get so close with the women I run with because we have this time kid free to just talk, you know. So
we always talk about how some of our best discussions are when we're driving, me and you, when the kids aren't distracting. But like it's because you're facing forward, there's kind of something to do, but you're kind of like
stuck in the car.
You're kind of stuck there, you know. Like it's kind of the same thing with running. I've had really, really good conversation. I also think there is a activity, there's an element of your blood is pumping, your brain is working, I'm more sober minded and not distracted to actually focus on the issue at hand, better than even a coffee shop where I've got my phone and it just buzzed, and then, you know, someone walks through the door that we both know or just, you know, and it just can be different, you know.
They do that really loud steamy thing with whatever they're doing back there.
Yeah, that steamy thing. And then the band starts playing and I'm just like, come on, we're trying to talk about something very important to me right now. So since then, I mean, looking back on it is kind of different for me because that was almost 2 years ago, but that was a pretty raw time because it had been right after her first birthday and still within a year of her death.
Right, yeah.
So there's obviously a lifetime of healing that's continuing to happen now. But how do you feel like running is either the same or different now than what you remember of kind of that first year with this particular grief?
Yeah, I guess running has just been another outlet for me. It continues to be. It was a stress reliever, processing time.
Yep.
And, you know, in that raw moment, there was a lot going through my head. Now, as we move forward, we're almost coming up on 3 years. It'll be a 3-year birthday on October 18th.
Yep.
And it changes. It doesn't go away.
Yeah.
And grief never will go away from everybody that I've talked to. And, you know, even just earlier this week, I was sitting at home crying because it was just overwhelming, missing her. And so it'll hit you in waves like that. And I think running is just another way to process that.
Yep.
For me, at least.
Do you feel like,
outlet.
And maybe it's both of these options, or maybe there's another option I'm overlooking. Do you feel like running helps with the pain or the grief, or it does bring you to a more sober-minded, like real place where you're thinking about it more? You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Is it not like it's less real, but is it more real when you process it more, or is there a healing, like, good component too?
I think there's a good component, because when I'm sitting at home and I'm doing whatever I'm doing, if I'm playing with Delaney or playing with our other son Finley, it makes me miss her so much more in those moments. You know, trying to think, oh, what would she be doing in this situation? Yeah. But when I get out and run, I have a lot more time to process it. and it's very real, just apart from that family situation.
Yeah.
You know, whether it's praying while I'm running, whether it's just zoning out,
Yep.
which is okay too.
Yeah.
Yeah, I guess it changes a little bit each week. You know, I can feel it welling up in me, and it's like, okay, let's get out for a run and think this through.
Right.
And then come back and be a better dad, be a better husband.
Yeah. I feel in a totally different like intensity or even a different context. I feel like if Alicia and I have an argument, or I'm unsettled about something, or something just really, something unsettling or sad just came across, or I had a really terrible day, that run is helpful to kind of process things, but it's not like the run is the solution.
Oh, right.
You know what I mean?
I agree with that.
Like, it's not like that just like solves it. It's not like that just is like, okay, like we exercise, or it doesn't have to be running. Some people go out and bike, and some people process things by walking through the woods, and there's a billion different ways you can do it, but it's almost like the activity bubbles things up to the surface.
Yeah. I think it gives you a better focus.
Way. Right.
Yeah. When it's blurry a little bit by the start of it, it's usually comes into focus at the end.
Yep. You can see it clearer. You can be more sober minded, but it's not the activity itself that's like really doing the actual healing and the work. No. Yeah. Good. So with that in mind, do you feel like you run more with people, more alone now? What's your preference?
I'm still an early morning alone person.
Me too.
I force myself to come on Thursday nights.
Yep.
And you come
Me too.
pretty regularly.
Yeah, force myself to be here on Thursday nights.
To shut it down.
Just shut it down. No, just kidding. I love Thursday nights, by the way. It is kind of one of the only runs throughout the week sometimes that I'll run with other people.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I love looking forward to it every week.
Yep.
And since then, too, I had run with Team World Vision,
yep,
which raises money to build wells in Africa to provide clean water and access to clean water and hygiene.
Yep.
And so they always had group runs, but I never made it to any of those.
Yep.
But I do try to make it to the Thursday night runs.
Cool.
Yeah. So you get to know people.
Yeah, there's a community.
Community, definitely, that I never had before. I wasn't in sports.
So have you met other people through the group run other than me?
Yes.
Oh, shoot.
Yeah.
I thought it was just me.
Yeah, no. Yeah, I met a lot of people.
Yeah.
Good. It's great.
That you wouldn't have otherwise, maybe.
Right, and that you look forward to seeing, or you text them, hey, you're going to be at the group run on Thursday.
Cool. What about you, Alicia? What's the last time you ran with the group?
Not for a while, actually.
Maybe we need
like
to
I
get
said,
that going.
summer with kids, juggling them. So
yeah, it's usually been like one or the other of us kind of coming in and running with the group. I've been doing that a little bit more in the summer.
But I will say I run with people that I met in the group run outside of, like, not on a Thursday. I ran with one girl from our group run at like 8:30 p.m. one day this week because it was the only time we could get it in.
Yep, good. No, that network is just, I feel like we always kind of have our core that will always be coming and has a little bit more regular, and then you have people kind of coming in and out and checking it out. But now that we're locking into fall, to kind of bring it full circle, one of the things that does come with fall and the new season here is the group run. It's not like the numbers just skyrocket, but there's more regularity because everyone's schedule is a little bit different and probably a little bit more regular in the fall, winter, and spring as opposed to the summer. You know, you got music in the park and a lot of different events, and people are out of town, and summer's just weird.
Everyone's like, I thought our summer was so busy. It's like everyone's in that same boat. It's not like
I love the fall.
Us.
I literally just love.
So should we go into speed round? Because I want to know Mike's favorite
about the
season.
Fall. There's other things about the fall I really enjoy.
Autumn. You enjoy both the fall.
Autumn.
Yeah.
Oh, the fall of man. No, autumn is just, I don't know. I saw a post on Facebook the other day that, what store was it? Van Mar or something in a big city had like their Von Mar. Is that a store?
Yeah, but you said Van Mar.
Can you buy vans at Von Mar? Okay. They had like all their Christmas stuff out. Like,
well, Hobby Lobby does too.
No, but it wasn't like just the decorated. It wasn't just like, okay, here's like the little panel of Christmas stuff. It was like Santa, like life-size Santa
Same with
doll.
Hobby Lobby.
Everything. And it's so depressing because I love the fall, but after the fall is winter. And I love the winter too, but I'm not ready mentally to go there. All right, let's do the speed round. Good idea, Alicia. That was
because I want to know. I'll do first question. We do 3
haven't
questions.
thought of any.
They have
questions.
to be quick.
Okay, you got to answer quick. And Alicia, you always string this out. You're always going off on a tangent, and you got to stay on track this time, okay? All right. Speed round. You got your question ready?
Yeah. What's your favorite season?
Oh, that's a softball. Fall.
Not you.
Oh, okay. Sorry.
Oh my gosh. Why are you answering?
Hello, new guest.
Yes.
Okay. All right, Mike, what's your favorite season?
I like the spring.
Thank you.
Thank you for having an answer.
Yeah.
And for being our guest. Adam's like, fall.
And for being truthful.
Yeah, it's that transition from, especially this past winter when it was so cold, and you're like, I can put on shorts again without people staring at me.
Yeah, exactly. I feel like I'm so eager in the spring to put on like the good running stuff. It'll be like, 41 degrees instead of 40. And I'm just like short shorts and, shirtless. Let's do this. And the same thing now. I feel like I still haven't accepted that it's getting chillier, but like eventually we're going to be doing the long sleeve shirt and the pants thing. First time I put on pants is pretty depressing for running. Anyway, what's the next question?
Your turn.
Oh, my turn. Mike, what shoes are you running in for the marathon?
I am going to be running an Ultra Paradigms.
Ooh.
Ultra Paradigms.
Yeah, I think it's version 4. I think is what
4 or 4.5. I think you're.
Yeah, I think I'm a 4.
Yeah, I think he has a 4.
Yeah.
It's up to 4.5.
You got the white and blues?
I have white and blues and blacks.
Yep, those are 4s.
There's our phone.
That's the phone. We'll get that in a second. Next question.
Ages of your kids. We haven't discussed your kids. You mentioned Delaney.
Yep, Delaney is 9. And so she's in 3rd grade. And like I said, Graceland would have been 3 years old in October. And then Finley is 15 months.
And your wife is Angie, who we know through you. Like the family came to Ramon's for our ice cream night last night, too.
Couldn't miss out on that.
Yes.
That's right.
I came for that, too.
Killer. And then, Mike, your favorite thing to eat after a race?
I'll just go burger. A good burger.
So Corton House.
Yeah, that's
at the end of September. Is that going to lean up? That's not like right before the marathon, right?
That'd be the week before, I think. The Thursday. Well, a week
the
and
29th.
A half. Yeah,
week and a half
beforehand.
So you'll have time.
Does
to
Minneapolis
digest
have
that.
a In-N-Out burger?
No.
Oh.
So we need comments. We need to know where Mike's going to go
First
after
burger.
the Twin Cities
Can't
Marathon.
go to Chick-fil-A. Not
after
open
he
on
runs
Sundays.
at 3:30. He needs to know where to have his burger.
Suggestions welcome.
That's right. So we covered shoes, post-race, nutrition, and kids. Last question, Lisha.
I thought we only do 3. I wasn't prepared for
I was
one.
going 3 each person.
Oh.
Let's do speed round on you. What's your favorite thing to eat after a race? Oh my gosh. Can you decide things today? What's going on here?
No, I like to drink. I like scratch recovery.
All right.
That's like right after.
One more question for Alicia, then we're going to do the fast or slow, let's go, and then the outro music, okay? What's your favorite season to run in? Oh my gosh. All right, 1, 2, 3. Fast or slow, let's go.
Fast. Or slow.